Welcome to the Limitless Ladies Network podcast, where we are limitless in sharing lessons to advocate and drive insightful, empathetic self care. The Limitless Ladies Network is dedicated to nourishing minds, educating on self care, and facilitating transformative experiences. Our mission is to guide women to age with grace, cultivate good health, and build meaningful connections to bring happiness into their lives. We strive to empower the ladies of the community so they may successfully advocate for themselves and embrace a journey of holistic well being. Please note that the information and opinions shared on this podcast are for educational purposes only and are not intended in any way to be used as medical advice. Please seek a medical professional for any health related matters and always refer to our full disclosure in our show notes. And welcome to the Limitless Ladies Network, where we are limitless in providing lessons to advocacy that drive insightful, empathetic self care. Today, I'm so happy to have with me Sophia, who is my production podcast manager and
Hello.
also a student at Quinnipiac University.
Yes. Go
Welcome, Sophia.
Bobcats. Thank you.
So glad to have you on with me today as we talk a little bit about self-care.
Yes, I'm a big advocate for taking care of yourself. Um, just like taking priority of yourself before taking care of others. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others. So it's important to have that.
Absolutely, because if we don't fill up our own cup first, then it just kind of overflows. We don't really get to help others.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So tell me a little bit about how you practice self-care.
So when I was younger, my dad and my aunt always like kind of wanted to get into yoga. So like on our TV, like they would pull up YouTube videos of yoga and I would do them sometimes. And I always kind of enjoyed them. So during the summer of the pandemic, so the summer of 2020, I was like going into my freshman year of high school and I just decided I'm just gonna do yoga every day. So I started doing yoga and then a few months later, I decided to do yoga and meditation every day. And that kind of like developed into kind of going down like kind of the rabbit hole of like self-care and like kind of getting into like the crystals and just like all that, like the sage, like everything.
I love that. Meditation is something that I have started practicing probably within the last couple of years, really. My brain goes in multiple different directions all at once. I have never been officially diagnosed with ADHD, but I can say that I am probably an ADHD person. My brain
Yeah,
is all
no,
over the place.
yeah, it wanders like crazy, but I mean that's like what the brain's kind of supposed to do. I mean, it's a muscle, you kind of have to train it, but yeah, I've been doing it for like 5 years now and my mind still wanders, but
Yes, it does take time. I mean, I started doing it, like I said, a few years ago, and I feel like if I don't do it, it actually makes my day harder. But if I can start out the day by doing like a 12-minute meditation that I practice, 12 minutes isn't really a long time and it's guided. So it really does help me to kind of ground myself as I start out the day and really feel as though I can calm some of those thoughts in my brain and maybe get them a little bit more organized, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah, no, I feel like it definitely sets the tone for your day because I mean, if I wake up really stressed and I do a meditation, like I feel so much better.
Absolutely. So, what kind of meditations do you do? Are they guided?
Yeah, so I go on YouTube because I used to have an app, but it like made it so you had to pay for it and it was like kind of expensive. So I obviously am a college student, so I want to save money. So I just go on YouTube and I look up 10-minute guided meditations. And I actually have a playlist saved of like my favorite ones that like I'll do like whenever I can. Once a month, usually the first few days of the month, I try to do like a chakra meditation to just like unblock all my chakras. So like I go into the month with like new energy and like balanced chakras, I guess. But yeah.
Yep, it's very important to keep your chakras definitely balanced. And I
Yes.
can say that with the lunar cycles, even though it's good that you're doing it at the beginning of the month, but generally speaking, which is not necessarily at the beginning of the month, but when the new moon hits is actually a really good time, or at the full moon, which is sort of in the beginning of the month, usually a few days
Yes.
here and there. And that's when our chakras can get really off kilter. So you're doing really good in terms of keeping it so that going forward, right, they're in balance. YouTube is such a great resource for information.
Yes, I use the main channel that I watch is Great Meditation. It was like in my YouTube recap, it was like my number two like most watched channel because of how much I meditate. So that
That's
was
great.
actually kind of funny.
That is great. And so when do you do your meditation first thing in the morning? Is that you wake up and you just do it like while you're in your room as soon as you get out of bed, put your feet on the floor and you start meditating, or before you even put your feet on the floor?
Yeah, so I used to when I was at home, I would just meditate after I did yoga, like whenever that was. But in school, I found that I will wake up kind of like for 5 minutes, I'll just like wake up and like make sure I don't fall back asleep when I meditate. And I'll just meditate in bed. Because I find that I fall asleep more if I'm like sitting up and meditating, like I'll kind of like doze off. But like if I'm laying down for some reason, I don't fall asleep. So
Wow,
that like has like worked for me.
good for you.
Yeah, don't
That you
know
can
why that is, but
fall asleep while sitting up. Wow.
yeah, I don't know, but I guess I just get really relaxed. But yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
What are some other simple ways that you use to take care of yourself?
Um, I for like every few days or like every 2 weeks, I will do a face mask. I will like have like a self-care day. I will put on a face mask, I will paint my nails, and I'll just put my phone on Do Not Disturb and just kind of leave it off to the side for a little bit. I find that my phone really causes me stress and like it makes me very overwhelmed a lot. So by putting it on Do Not Disturb, I don't see the notifications, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. And it's just like a way to like take care of myself. I'll put on a movie I like. I just like enjoy my own solitude, I guess.
That cell phone really does drain us, whether we believe it or
Yes.
not. And those little notifications that we get, even though they might not be pinging, are definitely taking up brain power that we really don't need. So doing a cell phone detox for a day is very smart.
Yes, and I love putting it on Do Not Disturb because with the iPhone, it like tells people, oh, she has her notifications off. So they're less likely to try to just like text me about random things that like could stress me out. So I think that's like also a big plus.
Definitely. As a student, tell us a little bit about your freshman year at Quinnipiac. How's it going?
Yes. So it's going well. I'm in the 3+1 program, which means in 3 years I'll get my bachelor's and then my plus 1 year I'll get my master's. So it's definitely a big workload and it can be stressful at times. But during the weekends, when I'm not really doing anything, I'll go over to the gym and they have a nice yoga studio. So I'll do yoga there, do a workout, just like I feel good and it's like a little break from the whole week. They offer yoga classes, which I'll go to sometimes. And yeah, so I will go to the gym and I'll meditate every day because I just have to be in bed for that. Um, but yeah, and also I think seeing a lot of people and being social, I'm a big extrovert, so I think talking to people really helps me like feel good about myself, and that's like another form of self-care for me is just surrounding yourself with people that make you feel good about yourself. So I do that a lot as well.
That is a great tip for you to share that being social is really a good self-care practice. And I feel
Yeah.
like since COVID, it is a bit more challenging for people to get out and get social. Everyone seems to want to do things via Zoom or, just through text message, and it seems so impersonal.
Yeah, I prefer in person like so much more than anything else. And I also do think when I said, finding solitude with yourself and kind of being social with others, like you have to find a balance between that. Because you can spend time with others, but you also do need time to yourself. But you don't want too much time to yourself, and you like also want to actually be social with other people. So yeah, it's all about finding a balance.
Absolutely, 100% about balance. And spending time with yourself in a quiet, peaceful place with your own thoughts, that a lot of people may struggle with, but it really is
Mhm.
important. And even if that time spending by yourself, because I love to spend time by myself as well after I've meditated, I like to journal about
Yes.
things that have come up. I sometimes will pull a tarot card. Or, I meditate and I look at where we are with the moon cycles. And for me, I like to journal about what those are and how that might be impacting my day. So
Hmm.
it kind of gets me into that introspection, or if something has come up for me emotionally as I have been meditating, it's good for me to write those things down and then I can actually get those out of my head and again feel a little bit more grounded moving forward for the day.
Yeah, I journaling is something that I've always started doing, and then I always just like forget about it, but I do have kind of a brain dump journal back at home where it's like if I'm feeling very stressed out about something or very angry or very upset, like I will just write it down, and I find that like putting it on paper and like actually getting it out into the world makes me feel so much better. So I feel like I should definitely start doing that more regularly. So yeah, maybe over the summer. That's like something that I start doing.
Yeah, it's a good practice to try and incorporate in everything else that you're doing, right? And it doesn't have to necessarily be every day. Mine's not
Yeah.
always every day. I try to do some in the morning. Sometimes I run out of time, and then I will just do that kind of brain dump in the evening. And sometimes that is just a list of things I'm grateful for that happened throughout the day, so that
Yes.
puts me in a happier mood too.
Yes, I do have an app on my phone that I use right before I go to bed. It's a journaling app. It's called Gratitude, and every day I just write down one small thing that happened during the day that I'm grateful for, and I find that just really helps me like oh like even if I'm stressed out about something, something good happened. So like everything is going to work out and everything's going to be okay.
Right? It's doing a little bit of a mind shift sometimes that we need to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, as a student for Quinnipiac, you have got a lot on your plate doing your 3+1 program. So, kudos to
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
How do you go about managing your time with schoolwork and your self-care?
So I kind of I'm a very big routine person. I love like sticking to a schedule and doing everything on a routine. Um, so usually find, I will do days where I just work on homework and do like everything like that. If I have to take a break, I will because I don't want to overwork my brain like too much. I actually got lucky this semester. I like most of my classes don't give me a lot of homework, which has been really good. Um, but yeah, like I will do work and then the next day I will go a little bit easier on myself because I just spent the past day doing a lot of work and I will maybe go to the gym if I have a lot of free time. But I do think a way that I reward myself is by hanging out with friends and seeing other people or if I'm not in the mood to do that, if I have like a headache or something, I'll just like put on like one of my favorite movies and just kind of reward myself. I also have like been getting into coloring. Like I got like these really cool markers and this cute coloring book, and sometimes I'll just put on my favorite movie and color with it in the background, and that's like kind of a reward that I give myself for working hard.
I like that. I like to draw
Thank you.
and be artsy and creative, so that's
Yes.
fun.
Yes, I love it. And it's like really satisfying, so it like takes my mind off of everything.
Definitely. What advice would you give to students that might want to start taking care of themselves?
I would say definitely I would always recommend yoga. I'm a big advocate for yoga. Um, Maybe if your gym has some yoga mats, I know my school does have yoga mats if students want to use them. Or you could buy your own. They're not super expensive depending on the brand you get. I don't know if you get a Lululemon mat, that's more expensive, but you can get a cheaper one. And I would definitely say do it with a friend because if you have a buddy that you do yoga with, they will kind of hold you responsible if you skip a practice or if you are like kind of lacking on it, if you're
Accountability
kind of just
partner. I
falling
mean,
behind.
those having an accountability partner is one
Yes.
of the major tools that you can have in your tool belt to help you stay on track and accountable for what it is that you're doing. Plus, it
Yes.
just makes it so much more fun when you get to share it with somebody that you like
Yes.
hanging out with.
Yes, exactly. And if yoga seems like too much of a stretch, I would recommend maybe just like trying some breathing exercises. I know box breathing really helps me to calm down, which is when you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for four, exhale for 4 seconds, and then hold for four again. And I feel like that just really, because I'm like counting and I'm focused on that and not anything else, like it really helps me ground me and yeah.
It is great. I teach that in my self-care trainings, and it
Yes.
actually helps to increase your lung capacity, and which can help with longevity because you can breathe better as you get older. So it is a great practice to have.
Yes, that one really helps me. I feel like that like is the one like breathing technique that I will always use.
Yes, it is a very good one. And then you can work your way up to 7-second holds.
Yes, yes.
How about self-love and forgiveness? How do you go
Yes,
about doing
okay.
those?
So my self-love journey started with meditation. There's this one video that I always listen to whenever I'm feeling a little bit bad about myself because I find that it always helps me. Um, and it basically talks about how you are the only person that is like you. You are the only person who had to go through what you went through, who like is uniquely you. And I feel like that really helped me be like, oh, like I should love myself for this. And I also think a mindset that really helped me was you're kind of stuck with yourself for the rest of your life. You can't be anyone else. Like you're stuck in like with yourself. And instead of not liking that person or constantly judging that person, you should embrace that because you're going through life as you. So you should be excited about that and embrace that and love that. Um, and I also think forgiveness and self-love kind of go hand in hand. I think you have to forgive yourself in order to love yourself. If you're getting so hung up on a decision that you made or a regret that you have, think of those situations less as what could have been or what if, but more of like the lesson that you got from that and kind of separate the lesson from the situation and only take the lesson moving forward and learn to forgive yourself in like because of like what decision you made or the lesson that you learned and kind of love yourself for making it through that and just like embrace the negativity because if you face negativity with love and kindness for yourself, it will come back to you.
That is very true. Forgiveness and self-care, and loving yourself really do go hand in hand. And the only way to open your heart in order to receive anything in terms of positive energies, we have to be able to make room to bring anything, whether we're, wanting to get more friends, we want to find a job, we want to, get into a certain class, or anything positive that we want to bring into our lives. I feel like we need to be able to release any negativity, and having negative self-talk is just taking up unwanted space. And it's not an
Yes.
easy thing to do, not saying that it is, but sometimes we just need to kind of, stomp those things down and realize that it is, like you said, it's perfect, the situation, and you can separate yourself or your ego from that situation and try to step back and really look at it in terms of a lesson that you have to learn in this lifetime, because we're
Yes.
all here for a purpose. And if we can learn the lessons and evolve, that's pretty much what we're really here for.
Yes, and
So.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Um, I also think it's important to remember that we are all human, and I think it's so hard to remember that for yourself because you're seeing the world through your own eyes. If your friend made a mistake, you wouldn't belittle them for that the same way you would belittle yourself for that same mistake. So you have to give yourself the kindness and the compassion that you would give your friends because you should be your own best friend. You're literally going through life with just yourself. And yeah, you should just be nicer to yourself.
Right? It's very
It's a
true.
lot easier said than done, but I think once people realize I should talk to myself like I'm a friend, then that really makes a big difference.
True. It's a mindset shift where you're
Yes.
almost putting yourself outside yourself so that you can have
Yes.
some compassion, right? And have some
Yeah.
grace with yourself.
For sure.
How do you think that you were able to actually kind of achieve your self-love?
I was kind of young. I was, again, like a freshman in high school, and I had never really practiced anything like that before, and I never really considered it. I kind of just went through life. So I think when I really paused and meditated on it and like thought about it, I was like, wait, this is something, my ring fell. Um, I thought this is something that can be possible and something that is honestly necessary to achieve being really happy with myself. When I was in middle school, for some reason, I was very like dead set on like getting a six pack for some reason. And I would like look in the mirror and I wouldn't see that and I would be very upset with myself and very insecure. Um and it honestly all comes back to meditation. I did a meditation and it said that your body is your vehicle, is the vehicle for your soul. And like that's literally it. And I think that really helped put things into perspective where it's like it only matters like kind of like what's in here and like what's inside and the outside doesn't really matter. So I need to like embrace like who I am and that really helped me. Um and also my sophomore year biology class really helped me for some reason. I remember we were learning about channel proteins or something and being able to like comprehend, oh my God, so much is happening in such a tiny cell in my body and there's like millions of them and it just helped me realize that just from like a biology standpoint, like our bodies are like amazing and like they're so like clever and insane and that just like really made me appreciate myself a lot more where it's I don't have to think about digesting. I don't have to think about breathing. My body just does that for me and my body is taking care of myself, so I should also take care of myself.
Very true. Our bodies are unique vessels that are almost like their own unique universe, and we are
Yes.
all very unique. And so we should really love and appreciate that our bodies are automatically doing these things for us without us
Yes.
even thinking. We're breathing and our heart is pumping, and it's just amazing, right? So to take care of it and put in good quality food and make sure that we're sleeping, right, is just a
Yes.
way of taking care of us in a very nurturing aspect of self-care, right?
Yes.
So this has been a great episode to have you on as our first student.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I feel like I don't get the chance to talk about like mindfulness and wellness like with a lot of people. So like being able to like provide wisdom, I guess, like just like being able to share like what I've learned has it's really cool. It's really great.
I love the youthful perspective in terms of being a freshman in college, and it's a whole new experience for you. And you're kind of navigating a lot of different things. You're learning as you go. And
Yes.
you've already got some great lessons that you've learned. And you're imparting your wisdom on others that are going to be going as freshmen, and maybe even some that have already been in college for a while and
Yes.
learning self-care is important.
Yes, it is super important. That is like one of my top priorities. my personal philosophy, it is not selfish. If self-care isn't selfish, self-love isn't selfish, it's important to put yourself before others in that sense. I think there's a fine line between taking care of yourself and making sure that you're the happiest you can be, and then just like being selfish. So it's important to separate those two.
Agreed. Yep. Self-care is not selfish. It is self-care.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
It is a necessity. So this is
Yes.
great. Thank you so much, Sophia, for sharing
Yes,
your
thank
wisdom with
you.
us. Hopefully you like this episode with Sophia and got to learn something. Please be mindful, leave us a comment and let us know if there's any other topics that you'd like to hear. If you enjoyed this episode, and please subscribe to our channel for other upcoming episodes that we're going to have on wellness and self-care. And please check out our website and us on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're now on TikTok as well, on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. And please sign up for our email list as well on our website, which is limitlessladiesnetwork.com. And we hope to see you at some of our events that we have coming up. We have several women's and wellness empowerment sessions and some forgiveness ones, as we spoke about that today, that are going to be coming up at Salem Pines Equine Retreat soon, and some ones that are going to be later on at a local vineyard too. So check us out. Thanks, Sophia.
Thank you. Bye, guys.